Back in 1994, a television show with a difference was created right here in Sydney, and it was called Follow Through Squad. TV and shit have a lot in common. Perhaps that's why Follow Through Squad made such an impact back in the 90s. As a cop show, complete with hard-hitting detectives and its razor-sharp plots, it was a panacea to the masses, giving the public its much-needed dose of grime and corruption, served at an arm's length. But as a barometer of social anxieties and fears, Follow Through Squad was much more. It delved into the heart of darkness, poking and probing into crevices that most people dare not go. It was a show about the fear of letting go, and in some cases, letting go too quickly. In this episode, we'll take a look at the groundbreaking first series, the people, the characters, and the stories that made this show so important.
I really loved the first series. It was so fresh. It literally came out of nowhere. Episode 4 is still one of my favourites. Bonza and I get a call from one of the local councils, and they're complaining that by the end of the cricket day, the change rooms are full of soiled jock straps and Y fronts. And of course the council are trying to keep this out of the press. So I infiltrate one of the teams to try and find the culprit.
The first series was a blast. Episode 2 was one of my favourites, especially because I got to write the script.
Episode 2 follows Senor Panteros as he joins a theatre group as a way of experiencing the local Sydney culture firsthand.
My character Panteros joins a theatre group called Me, Myself and I, and we decide to make a short film. But during the shoot, a number of fights break out amongst the cast and crew about whose idea was to make the film in the first place.
Did you go to acting school, or did you go to...
Who gives a fuck whether I went to acting school? You haven't even ever been on a film set.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah.
Anna Rose.
I thought I was just going, I want to be on the film.
You will be.
My character gets so disgusted by the minor role in the film and the infighting of the cast and crew that he decides to follow through in the chicken suit and make a clean break for it. But before he can do the deed and make a run for it, we find out that the head of the theatre collective is taken off with the money meant for the pizzas at the end of this film shoot.
I was really proud of season 1, especially from a writer's perspective. I was given complete control, and that allowed me to give the whole series a much more rounded overall feel.
But not everyone quite remembers it that way.
Jaden got writer's block, so a few of us got together, Bonza, myself, Marks, and we brainstormed. And I think the best idea to come out of those sessions was when my character Soil tries to become a rock star.
After a heavy afternoon of drinking with Bonza and Marks, Soil confesses to Bonza his one lifelong wish, to become a rock star.
You can end up being a bloody pariah, and that'll ruin your career.
Bonza chides him at first, but in the end he tells his friend and crime-fighting partner to follow his dreams. So Soil gets himself a guitar and starts practicing off-duty.
Run, river, run through heartache and pain. Run, river, run on a journey far away. Run, river, run forever and a day. You, my friend, run, river, run from beginning to end. Run, river, run through heartache and pain. Run, river, run, so lost in the rain.
Just as the final location shots for Series 1 were being completed, tragedy struck.
I was taking 5 one afternoon in my trailer when there was a knock on my door. Tony came in and collapsed on my white leather divan and burst into tears.
He never had his own caravan. Be lucky if he had his own letterbox before he met me. Anyway, let me tell you about Tony. Right, we're out Rudy Hill doing pickup shots for the finale, The Grapes of Waff. He gets this telephone call. He picks up the phone. His face goes white. All the colour just drains right out of it. He nods his head, hangs up.
I had dinner with him that night, Went to a little Chinese place, Mount Druitt. He had the sweet and sour pork and I had the chicken Maryland. But he kept saying things like, "They need me, I've got to go back." But he wouldn't go into any more detail.
I invited Tony to dine with me in my caravan the day he got the news. We talked about our families during the entree. I had the spatchcock à l'orange and Tony had the lobster confit. He was in high spirits throughout most of the Argentinian rums we had for mains. But then when the peach melbas came, he was a mess.
Despite the conflicting versions of events on that fateful day, one thing seems clear. Tony Bonzarevich packed his bags and returned to the war-torn region of the former Yugoslavia. Whether he went to rescue his grandmother and sister, as some have suggested, or joined one of the nationalist armies, we may never find out. To many back then, he was considered a freedom fighter, defending a cause he believed in. Nowadays, he'd probably be considered something rather different, though at least we'd probably know where to find him.
To lose Tony when the show was peaking in Scandinavia, it was a cruel blow for the whole team.
It was sad, but we had to move on. Signed a new deal with a Swedish network, and we were halfway through writing Series 2.
I knew the show was in trouble if we couldn't replace Bonzarevich. So I rang an old friend of mine, Consuela Martinez, a former Miss Bolivia, and I rang her and told her that I thought there was a position in the show open for her.
Show needed a new face, and fast. I pulled in a few favours, got Martinez's telephone number, give her a ring. She's tired of all that catwalk stuff. She's prepared to do a drama with a bit of guts to it. We decided to give her a go.
And so the show went into a second series, complete with a new lead in the form of Conchita Pi, an uncompromising Latino cop who sizzled on the streets and smouldered between the sheets. Series 2 of Follow Through Squad promised to keep the Scandinavians warmer than a burning log during the long Arctic winter. Next episode, we'll take a look at Series 2 and the dramas that unfolded as egos began to collide. Add to that an off-screen romance or two, a punch-up in a nightclub and a drug bust, and you have all the ingredients of a fiery second series.